Now, shares of Spirit Airlines closed nearly 200% higher as it moves closer to securing a $500 million bailout from the Trump administration. A source tells CNN that the deal would include the U.S. government taking a stake in Spirit Airlines. A spike in jet fuel that we were just talking about has derailed the budget airline's plans to emerge from bankruptcy protection. Mike Boyd is the president of the aviation consulting firm Boyd Group International, and he joins us now. Good to see you. A lot of action here. And let's begin with Spirit Airlines. This is quite a turn of events. How do you think this will go for Spirit Airlines itself? And what about the government actually taking a stake in it? Is that a good idea?
It's a terrible idea. Number one, Spirit is not a winning airline. They haven't made money in 6 years. They went into bankruptcy once and said they're going to make $250 million profit, and they lost that much. Had to go into bankruptcy a second time. So what the government might be getting out of this is paper, because everything else has been mortgaged over at Spirit, and it's a shrinking airline. I really believe this is a really bad deal for everybody, because Spirit really is almost becoming a non sequitur to the U.S. airline system.
I hear you, Mike, and yet if you're a consumer at this point in time, with so many airlines talking about consolidation, and look, I know that President Trump pretty much, said a flat no to a merger between United and American Airlines, but any kind of competitor exiting the market here is not good news.
Well, first of all, there aren't many airlines left. There are not so many airlines out there. You've got Spirit and Frontier, both of which are excess airlines, really, unfortunately. You've got American and United. That's out of the deal. Then on top of that, you've got Alaska, and you've got Delta, and you have a Southwest. There's not a lot of airlines to merge out there anymore, and not many that make any sense, because if Spirit goes away, it'll be 2 weeks before everything's back to normal. They're just not a big player. The same thing with Frontier. So putting airlines together is not a big solution right now.
Where does that leave consumers, though, at this point? We're talking about the price of jet fuel, and United was quite blunt, as I'm sure the other airlines would be too. I mean, look, these fares will remain higher for longer, and that probably has a lot to do with capacity, right? So strained.
It certainly does. But keep in mind, the capacity that, say, a Spirit has is mostly, almost entirely, to leisure destinations. So the majority of Americans really aren't affected by Spirit, regardless of what some consumers say. So in terms of lack of competition driving fares up, what's really going to be driving fares up is the fact that you've got increased labor costs, you've got increased fuel costs. And Mr. Kirby is right. If the passengers out there in the big world will pay 20% more now, well, they'll pay 20% more when the fuel prices go down too.
That is really not good news. And I think consumers are pretty smart at this point right now when they look at things like to have to pay to select a seat, baggage prices. I mean, where do you see this going? Because for those of us who still remember what it was like to get a cheap airfare ticket, is that in our future at all? I mean, where is this going to go in the future years?
Well, we've got a strong air transportation system, but in terms of any of the white knights coming over the hill to save us from high fares is not going to be there. The average cost of airfare is going to continue to go up because the costs that drive airlines are going up as well. I mean, like Frontier Airlines, they've got a pilot contract that's delayed. It'd be another $100 million in debt right there for them to pay that off. So what we're looking at is a situation where all the dynamics point to higher fares, and we can't do much about that.
So when you look at the industry as a whole, though, is it better then to be healthier, but that this will really strap consumers that were used to being able to fly really anywhere in the world, and that would be for middle-class people, just like you and I, just trying to book a ticket, can no longer be able to do that these costs will really become incredibly prohibitive?
Well, the real issue here is, like, Mr. Kirby at United said, people are still flying. And the real issue here is how flexible or how movable, if you will, are people's travel plans. And I think the real hit will be here. Some of these small communities that think they're going to get air service are getting hornswoggled by consultants. They're the ones that are going to find out an airplane is not coming into town. Get in your car and drive. That's where the real hit's going to be, if you want to call it a hit. But the real point here is we're not going to be cut off from being able to fly. It's just going to have to replace something else in the budget to pay for it.
Okay, Mike Boyd, we'll leave it there, and we'll continue to keep an eye on the Trump administration if it does indeed make that investment and take that stake in Spirit Airlines. Appreciate your time.